Hello humans, it's just Martine and welcome to my Squash That series Tic-Tac-TBR vlog. Here I am making the board for Tic-Tac-TBR. So, random number generator, generate. The first is 22. A sequel someone else has read. Interesting. Let's try this again. 1. An audiobook. Okay, we can deal with that. 9. An owned sequel. That one is harder for me. Okay. Yep. 11. Series you were caught up on. Interesting. 20. Average rating 3.75 stars. Less than 3.75 stars. Okay. Very specific. 26. Popped in 2021, 2022. Really struggling out here. Okay. 23. So many categories. An entire duology or trilogy. Why? Okay. 2. This is not my ideal board, guys. On TBR the longest? I don't even think that's a thing I know. Okay, last one. 24. Yellow on the cover. Okay, well, this is my board. It's officially the start of Squash That series. And this morning at 6 a.m. I read Mummies in the morning. And now that it's 1:30, I'm going to read Pirates past noon. I love that. I love my life. Oh, also I gave Mummies in the Morning 4 stars, and I'm using it for the prompt book that somebody else read. It's 1:50 p.m. and I finished Pirates Past Noon. I also gave it 4 stars. It's interesting because I liked Mummies in the Morning more because I don't think I'd ever read that one. And then I enjoyed Pirates Past Noon so much because it was so nostalgic, but it also lived up to my memory of it, versus the second Magic Tree House book was really nostalgic to me, but didn't live up. And Pirates Past Noon, I also just read as part of the read a book somebody else will be reading prompt. So I got that prompt done. I've decided that I'm going to try and hit the top row for my 3 in a row, which means that I have to read an audiobook and a sequel you own. For the sequel I own, I'm going to read Confessions of High School Disaster. What's interesting about this is it's actually the first book, and I've read the sequel before. So this is not technically the sequel, but it's in a series I've read from before. I haven't read this one, and I own it, so I'm counting it. And then for my audiobook, I'm going to be finishing the Infernal Devices trilogy by listening to Clockwork Princess, which I started earlier this morning. I've listened to the prologue and that's it. That's where I'm at. It's just past 3 p.m. and I'm 40% of the way into this book, enjoying it. Something great high school theater related just happened. The main character got the lead in the show and a senior was really upset about it, so she wrote a petition, and then the speech that the teacher gave was incredible. So I stan that teacher. Ernie's helping me read, and I'm probably going to stop reading for a bit to watch TV with Michaela, and then we'll see where to go from here. I'd like to get at least 50% of the way into this today, which I think is more than doable. It was like a big stretch goal in the back of my mind, but I didn't want to put any pressure on myself to do this. But I finished Confessions of a High School Disaster this evening. I'm giving it 4 stars, just like I gave the second book, and now it has me like kind of wanting to reread the second book now that I have this first book's context. I like the epistolary format, and I also appreciate that like it feels like a genuinely young voice from the main character, while also not being like completely out of touch with reality. So like she's incredibly dramatic, and then she'll say something like very real. The main character is not as annoying as other teenage characters in similar books to this, and I feel like there are many funny bits while it's still being a classic messy young voiced YA contemporary. This is just, it's a guilty pleasure read for me, except that I don't feel any guilt about it. So but it's just a silly little book that I love. So glad to add this to my collection and have it read. I was actually editing the haul that this appears in this morning, which was awkward because I edited that haul this morning and then I read this book today. But this again was for the prompt of owned sequel. So now I just have the one prompt left, but it's my longest book because like Mummies in the Morning took me 15 minutes to read. Pirates Past Noon took me 11 minutes. This took me like 3 hours, and then the audiobook for Clockwork Princess is like 16 hours. It will take anywhere from like 8 to 6 hours for me to read, which is significantly longer. So that will be my job for the next few days. But for tonight, that's the update. So my sister and I just went for a walk and the sun was absolutely merciless. And then we reached one point where there are some clouds and we're like, we think we'll be okay. And all of a sudden the entire sky is like this. I don't know if you can tell, but it's like really dark clouds. But we ran home because it literally felt like a ghost went through us, and now it's starting to rain. So mad spooky vibes up in here. But I'm gonna listen to Clockwork Princess inside where it's safe. It's 2:30 p.m. and I just hit 50% of Clockwork Princess, which I did not expect to listen to so much of today, but I'm a bit stressed about the book. So needless to say, I am enjoying it, just stressed. I would probably continue reading it for now, except that my phone and headphones are both dying and I need to update my phone. So I'm gonna try to do that. It's just past 10:30 p.m. and I spent a long time this afternoon not reading after my big reading session where I read half the book at once. And then just a little while ago, I started reading again and now I'm at 78% of Clockwork Princess. So I'm definitely going to finish it tomorrow, which is super exciting. I'm on the edge of my seat. Right now we're in a big battle scene, so I'm like fine stopping right now because I'm not as interested and it seems like it's gonna go on for a while. That being said, some crazy stuff just happened. Stuff that like I kind of knew was going to happen because of like a spoiler that I'd kind of heard. I didn't realize it was a spoiler at the time, but I still don't know how it happened. I just know that it happened and I knew that it was going to happen. So it's still a mystery and I'm having a good time, but I can feel my attention flagging. So I want to wait till tomorrow when my attention is back at full force because I really want to enjoy the end of this book because I've loved the first 3/4 of it so much. So things are stressful. I'm gonna rest and in the morning they're all gonna save the day. I know they are. So it's all good. But yeah, I'm probably gonna finish my Squash That series in 3 days, not 4, which is super exciting and unexpected. It's Thursday. Sorry for all the cicada sounds. They're really popping off, but I'm outside right now because Bailey is doing these challenges on the hour, every hour today, because everybody else is starting Squash That series today. So last hour it was add up the letters of your full name, read that many pages. So I got 23 pages. I read that, not from Clockwork Princess, but instead from another book from a series that I'm reading, but won't be mentioning very elusively, hint, hint. And then this hour, the challenge was to only read outside for the hour, which I just got back from a walk, so I was a little offended. You can see I stepped outside, I'm already sweating because it feels like right now is 98 and the humidity is very high. Like the temperature is 87 and the feels like is 98 because of humidity alone. So it's swampy out here. So I decided I'm barely going to read this hour. I'm going to read 1 chapter and then I'm gonna dip inside and not read for the rest of the hour so that I can take off the challenge but not die. And yeah, so I'm gonna stop talking to you and get to my challenge because I'm so sweaty. It's 1:45 p.m. and I have some updates for the hourly challenges. There was a challenge to read until the book mentioned food, and for that I was reading Clockwork Princess, and it was not ideal because it was in the middle of a battle scene, so it was like, when are they going to talk about food? Eventually they talked about a drink, so I counted that. Then for this hour's challenge, it was to post about Squash That series on social media, so I made a Twitter post about it. And then I finished Clockwork Princess, which I gave 5 stars. It was such a good end to the trilogy, not too many fight scenes at all. I loved the narrator for this audiobook so much. It was different than the narrators for the second audiobook from the trilogy, which was really weird. The way that the love triangle resolved was actually quite satisfying to me, and I wasn't expecting that. So that was great. And I just, yes, it was such a good ending to a trilogy, I felt, and it made me very happy. There were so many things in it that made me so happy. So there were other things that made me really sad, but there were things that made me happy, so that's okay. So I've officially finished all my books to get my 3 in a row, which is exciting. I'm going to keep reading so that I can do these challenges today when they come out, and then I'll end off this vlog. All right, it's 9 p.m. and I came here to fill you in. So Bailey did have a couple more challenges and I completed all of them, and I had a really fun time doing that. And my reward is that I get a free space on the board. So actually, instead of just having the top row, I'm also going to get another 3 in the row on a diagonal. So it's going to be the diagonal of my board that has yellow on the cover, less than 3.75 average star rating as my free space. Oh, yellow on the cover is one of the Magic Treehouse books. Either one book somebody else read is the other Magic Treehouse book. So yay, I got 2 3 in a row, which is a lot better than I was expecting, and made some really good progress on some series. So exciting stuff all around. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up and comment down below what series is at the top of your TBR, and subscribe for more reading, writing, and college lifestyle content. And until next time, bye humans, bye!